It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. It is County-Wide, and we're happy to welcome into the studio a name and a voice that'll be very familiar across northern Arizona, certainly a friend to Yavapai Broadcasting. Christian Oliva Del Rio is the president and CEO of the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. And good to see your smile today, sir.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
We see you as kind of one of the family. You're in here an awful lot, doing things on behalf of the chamber and for the business community, and not just Cottonwood, but throughout the region.
Correct. Yep.
That's still somewhat recent name change. It's been about a year now.
So it's been about a year since we've changed the name. But in all honesty, so we actually were incorporated in 1948 as the Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. So we've kind of come full circle. Yeah. Definitely, COVID forced us to focus on our roots, and that's what we've come back to. So COVID. There's a lot happening, but let's just start there, just real quick, because I know 5 years on, we still have to talk about it, especially when business people are gathered. How do we feel? Is COVID totally in the rearview mirror? Well, I think it's pretty close to being totally in the rearview mirror. We definitely are still feeling some of the effects of that. Obviously, workforce, a lot of our small businesses are dealing with that. Right. But you know what? A good thing about it that came out of it is it forced a lot of our small businesses to look at marketing and dealing with their business in different aspects. So a lot more online, a lot more social media. We still have our brick and mortar buildings are, key, but they really had to think outside of the box. And I'm real proud of the business community. It's really stepped up, done a great job.
And in our area, and I'm talking, when I say I'm talking all of Yavapai County, including Sedona, including those tourist destinations. Sure. Did COVID, it seems to me, that it really laid bare what our strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to culling visitors.
Correct.
We started, as things started to open up slowly, we were starting to get more quote-unquote staycations.
Right.
Folks from the Phoenix Valley.
Correct.
Coming up and that kind of thing. Did that have a lasting impact on local businesses understanding that the local clientele is more or as important as the people who come from out of state?
Absolutely. So, COVID was interesting when we are pretty rural, and what we saw was an influx of RVers, right? People actually coming up, they were like, okay, wide open spaces. We've got a lot of forestry land between us and Sedona. So we saw that huge wave. And it was interesting because we prepared for no visitors or tourism whatsoever, but within 2 months into COVID, we really started seeing the numbers increase. People were visiting, which was good. Then we kind of started seeing a growth in the Airbnb or the short-term rental market, if you will, right? And that's kind of been a hot topic and hot button for a little while now. But what the trends we're starting to see is short-term rentals stays are actually half of what our hoteliers are. Our hoteliers really have stepped up and are the number one location for people to stay. So it's been interesting. We've had a couple great hotels move into the area. So we've got Spring Hill Suites and Hampton Inn just recently opened. And then in Clarkdale, we have the Tawawaki, who's the Hopi Indian tribe. So interesting to see those numbers change. I
read something anecdotally. I wish I'd have saved it knowing you were coming in. The Airbnb is good if you're going to go and you're going to kind of float in a pool and you're just going to kind of stay and really use the amenities that an Airbnb can provide. You're going to cook there. You're going to do this. But if you're going to hike, if you're going to do the train, if you're going to do all the things that we have here, the kayaks, on and on and on and on, the restaurants that are world class. It seems like lodging where you got somebody, you made service and room service and all those things.
Those are all the amenities that you're talking about. That really is nice. I think it plays a big role in it. Sense. And again, that being such a hot topic, I think with the short-term rentals, it kind of got a little bit of a black eye. There were a lot of people that were coming and partying and just not respecting the neighborhood and all that.
Right.
I'm pretty lucky. I have two across the street from me. They're very quiet, very respectable. They're doing it the right way. We have a couple members that are short-term rentals, and they're booked all the time. But that's it. You have that host that's there and catering to your needs and educating you about the area and directing you to the right areas to go visit. Right. So, that shift definitely, I think is a growing trend. We're seeing more and more people are wanting to go to the hotel because it's a secure location, right?
Yeah,
You're
all
getting
of
all
those
these
things.
other amenities, and,
Right.
and yeah, so definitely seeing that growth.
The affordability factor seems to be kind of
Right.
leveling off between
It
the two
does.
as well.
Mhm.
For a while, you could really find some bargains in the home rentals, the Airbnbs, and still probably can, depending on where you're going.
Sure.
But by and large, it seems like, just in my own personal experience,
Right.
that's kind of leveling out.
It is definitely leveling
Depends
out.
on the matter of kind of service you want, and it
Right.
just depends. Each
You know,
his
the
own.
Airbnbs have they have their place. You know, again, we call it Airbnb, but it's
Right.
VRBO. It's short-term rental. Period. Is
Right.
You know, it depends on where you're going and how long you're staying, kind of a thing. You know,
Yeah.
it is kind of nice to be able to have a kitchen and these kind of things, these other amenities that you may not have in a hotel. But
Right.
definitely, that trend is going the opposite direction.
Just
So,
depends on what
yeah.
you're after. Is that
Right.
good? Do you find that as a
I-
positive from the chamber perspective?
From the chamber perspective, definitely, and from the municipality itself, you
Yeah.
know, so they've taken most of our municipalities here are the DMO, which means they're the destination marketing organization, and they collect a bed tax, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And so that money is going into and being used in the right ways. I think, you know, they're using it for more tourism marketing, obviously, smart tourism marketing, because we obviously don't want to blow up the area. You know, one of our neighbors very close to us, Sedona, deals
Yeah.
with a lot of traffic, and they're dealing with their own struggles when it comes to
Okay,
tourism.
you said Sedona, so you brought it up. So I'm gonna get into on that. First of all, later in what I think mid-August, the chamber is going to get together with the Sedona.
Yeah, Sedona Chamber. So, so they have a new CEO over there, David Key, great guy. He's from the Tempe area, and he's got, you know, quite a few years in the chamber world. But he's got a very interesting and different perspective, and I think he fits in real nice right there. He's a very regional thinker. And so he and I have had lunch and met a couple times, and we used to have a very strong working relationship with the Sedona Chamber and
Yeah.
the Camp Verde Chamber when they were there and really operating. So regionally, we, you know, in about 2007 was when I started with the Chamber, believe it or not, 18 years later. You know, we used to be very siloed, but we discovered that, you know, with the Sedona name, it's, you know, it's internationally known.
Right.
You know, we
Right.
could all jump in on the coattails of Sedona and get some of that traffic this way. And we grew smart. We formed the Sedona Verde Valley Tourism Council. And so we worked very well. We still, I think the Verde Valley, that's what's unique about us, is that we do work very well regionally.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we got together and said, you know, we haven't had a regional mixer since pre-COVID, and it's time to bring it back. So businesses from all over the Verde Valley, Sedona, we've had over 450 attendees coming through. The Blazin' M Ranch is going to be hosting it for us, and we'll have kind of a tabletop setup. So we'll have some businesses that are going to, you know, highlight their wares and show us what they're doing. And it's an amazing event. It's a great way for us to connect with our neighbors.
I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here for you. This is me talking. This is not Christian talking.
Yeah.
I've been here 30 years. I don't want to sound like the old man, old timer, but that gives you, you get some perspective. And speaking about Sedona,
Right.
you know, when I came, there was one traffic light at what we used to call the Y intersection by the post office, and that was it.
Yeah.
Sedona, just even superficially, if you drive from west all the way uptown, the look, the change there is striking.
Right.
And we've had, I'm from the Midwest, and we have a lot of friends and relatives that come and visit. And Sedona used to be high on that list. And I'm going to tell you, again, this is Brad, not Christian. We don't get to Sedona hardly ever when we have company anymore.
Right.
They love Old Town Cottonwood, and they love Jerome. Right. Sometimes we'll get to Prescott, and Prescott has its own, unique look.
Sure.
But here's where I'm going with this. Is there any fear that Cottonwood could become Sedona? And some of the just on those surface road, those main drive.
I think
Oh,
we work really hard at trying to prevent that. I think we do tourism pretty smart, right? The city of Cottonwood and Trish Lewis, she's been doing an amazing job, right? And you're right. We run 2 visitor centers for the city of Cottonwood, and we partner with Camp Verde now to help them with theirs. And that's what we get from a lot of the people coming in. I've done the Sedona thing, and traffic's crazy, and we would rather come here. And Sedona is definitely always going to be the draw, but I think that Cottonwood and the rest of the Verde Valley, we do realize the stresses put on the community out there,
right?
And we try to market ourselves, correctly in the smart way,
right?
I like to think that we also have a lot more open areas, right? There's kayaking on the river, there's biking, there's wine enthusiasts in the wine trail, so we've got some different draws, whereas you're very isolated in Sedona, and we could spread out a little bit more in the Verde Valley.
20 miles apart, but there's a tremendous difference. And it seems like most people, if they're going to come up either from the Phoenix Valley or certainly international travelers, are going to take a little more time. And I can't believe they're not going to dip their toe into both areas.
Absolutely.
Somewhat equally.
That's the beauty of our area, though. There's so much to do and so many different things to see that, you could spend a good, couple weeks here and still not do everything.
Yes, you can. Right. All right. Terrific. Good stuff. We're going to take a short break. Christian, Oliva Del Rio, Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. Good discussion. We'll be back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
We welcome you back to the program. It is Countywide. I'm Brad Miller. Christian Oliva Del Rio is President and CEO of the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. When we talk about Cottonwood from a visitor standpoint, when they come to visit, a lot of times Sedona, but Old Town Cottonwood is kind of where it's happening with the restaurants and the nightlife and those kinds of things. How does the chamber, so certainly that's going to make a big impression, especially on visitors. How does the chamber balance the needs and wants and desires of those business folks in the greater Old Town area with people who are serving just the local community, the car repair place, and those kinds of things?
That's a great question because you're really, I started in the chamber in 2007, and our primary focus was tourism, right? And so what, again, another good thing that came out of COVID is that it rocked our world, basically, right? The city pulled their funding as far as tourism. They were going to take it over, which made us go, oh, what are we going to do, right? And so we went back to our roots, right? And our roots were serving small businesses throughout the entire Verde Valley. Yeah. And so what our focus has been, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, is that focus, is that all of the business community. So we do some light advocacy, I call it. So we work at the state level with Arizona Chamber Executives. So we try to push and promote business-friendly legislation through our state government. Yeah. Obviously, locally, we work very well with all of our municipality partners. But the small businesses, we have so many mom and pop shops that are owner operator. They're focused on their business. They don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of their own marketing, right? So social media is huge, and it's a free option for many of them. So we've focused more on training. We've partnered with the SBDC at Yavapai College. We partner with the BRIC, is the Business Innovation Resource and Innovation Center in Camp Verde, and we've formed our own Business Resource Center in Cottonwood at our chamber building. So we're offering workshops and trainings to better your business, right? To learn a social media 101, if you will, right? Or how to gain access to capital. VV Rio is a Verde Valley Regional Economic Organization that we have here locally in the Verde Valley, and they have a loan program. So if you don't necessarily qualify for a standard loan through a regular bank, this is another option for you. So we're educating our business owners and trying to provide services with them. We do a regular lunch and learn event with the city of Cottonwood, and we have one coming up July 14th in Camp Verde.
Okay.
And so Yavapai College has the Regional Economic Development Center, and there are many free resources to employers and employees that, I think a lot of people don't know. So we're trying to expose that and bring that information out.
Good.
Yeah.
A lot of partnerships.
Right.
And speaking of that, coming up in mid-July, there's a lunch and learn. It's called Access to Capital, presented by SBDC. And we had Ruth Ellen Alinsky some time ago to chat about that. What is that program? What's the partnership and what's that program?
So the SBDC is a federally funded organization that's based out of Yavapai College there. And so all of their services are free to people wanting to start up their own business or whatever. But I believe that a lot of what they're going to highlight is a lot of these alternative potential loan programs.
Sure.
VV Rio being like one of them, and probably the better known here. So VV Rio does partner with a lot of our local banks. So if you've got a business owner or somebody that's wanting to start their own business, this is a great resource for them if you may not quite qualify for that loan.
So many people have an idea or a germ or a seed or something like that, and that initial startup capital is the hurdle. And so these kinds of programs, and this specifically, is a great way to do it.
There's definitely great resources that are available. And again, you can either look up, vvrio.org or you have access to all those resources through the Chamber's website as well, which is verdevalleychamber.org. So, or come on in, call us, send us an email.
On Cove Parkway.
Love to help you out. Yeah, we're here in Cottonwood, Cove Parkway, but we're Verde Valley wide.
Yeah. Easy to find.
Right.
Terrific website.
Thank you.
Real comprehensive. It's, some you'll look at, and then this, most of the questions I had, I could find the answer to right there.
Well, thanks. That's good to know.
Yeah. And there's a good way.
I'm pretty much the webmaster.
Okay. Well, good one. It's very clear how to reach you out to through email and all the other ways as well, if you don't find what you're looking for right there. Yeah. And then also still on the calendar, August 5th, going to be a job fair.
Correct.
Talk to me about that.
Another partnership with, again, the city of Cottonwood and the Sedona Chamber of Commerce. So we've always done a Verde Valley job fair, and this year Sedona decided, hey, we want to work with you. Workforce is definitely an issue in our area.
Oh boy,
and across the country, really. And so it's a great opportunity for people to get out there and list their jobs. We generally have about 30 to 40 employers, and just about every one of them is offering a job that day. We did one last year in October, and we had 35, like I said, employers that were hiring, and we had over 100 people come through looking for work, and we had 8 people that actually got jobs that day. Yeah. So if you're looking for work, definitely be there. It's going to be at the Cottonwood Rec Center, August 5th, and it's a little bit later in the afternoon, like from 3 to 6. So, if you currently have a job, go to your job.
looking for something else.
Looking for something else, maybe a better opportunity.
That's wise to do it. You hear about that. We think about it, people looking for a job are unemployed.
Right.
Many of them are employed, but not enough. It's not enough work. It's not the kind of work.
Right.
Yeah. So that's terrific. Okay. Again, August 5th. Tell me again where that's going.
August 5th. So Cottonwood Rec Center. And I want to say it's 150 South 6th Street here in Cottonwood. And it'll be from 3 to 6 in the evening. No cost. Come on out. Wear your dress for success. Bring your resume, and be prepared to get hired.
If you haven't been to a job fair in some time or haven't ever been, it's the nature of them has really kind of changed. Some people are going to get, show up tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, it can happen quite quickly.
Really, that quickly, yes.
Yeah, so dress for, it's an
definitely.
interview.
It is an interview.
It really can be.
I hate to say it, but in years past, we've seen the person walk through with their pajamas, slippers, walking their dog. And it's like, I don't know, you're going to get hired, but maybe.
They're serious about it. All right. Well, it's incredible the breadth and width of what the chamber is involved in, as a chamber should be in a community the size of ours, especially. So we're happy and we're lucky to have you, and we're happy to have your team here. We'll take another short break. Our guest is Christian Oliva Del Rio, Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. We'll come back to wrap it up right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Welcome back to the program. It is Countywide as we wrap up. I'm Brad Miller. And our guest today, sir, thank you so much, Christian Oliva Del Rio, President, CEO, Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. And emphasis today on the greater.
Yeah.
Talking Sedona, talking Camp Verde, talking the region. And that's it's great to keep that eye.
Thanks for bringing that up, because, yes, that was the idea behind it, was that we are the entire Verde Valley, which includes Sedona.
Yeah, we're all neighbors, and it sounds like everybody's playing together well. And COVID smacked everybody around a little bit, and you kind of cozy up a little bit if you haven't for a long time when something like that kind of happens. Right. All right. Well, wonderful. This is great. There's all these things happening. The Lunch and Learn is coming up on the July 16th, the Job Fair August 5th, that Confab with Sedona coming up August 13th, and I think all those are on the website. Is
Absolutely.
That's a good starting place if I'm looking for more.
It's a great spot to start. VerdeValleyChamber.org. Definitely. There's a ton of information there. Our current community calendar.
Right.
And then a lot of resources for business and just anything you want to know about the chamber, and a great way to communicate with us, And you don't have to be a chamber member to come to our events. Come check us out. Come hang out with us and find out what we're about. So
excellent.
All
right, sir.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a great time. Appreciate it.
All right. Good stuff. Christian Oliva Del Rio. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.